All right, thank you very much, Rachel. With me now are Delegate Sam Rasoul, representing the city of Roanoke, a Democrat, and also Daniel Webb. He is the vice chair of the Roanoke County Republican Committee. So we've got both sides of the aisle represented here, but we just want to talk about what's going on tonight while we await more results. I want to start out by looking at the national race for president. You think we'll see a winner tonight?
I think the states you're going to want to look at are North Carolina and Georgia.
Yeah.
They're on the East Coast. They're going to count their votes pretty quickly. We could get results from them tonight. They are vitally important because I think President Trump needs to win those, and Pennsylvania to have a really strong shot to win.
And Georgia's trending towards Trump so far with the results that we have.
Currently,
right?
But it's still a long way to go, I think.
Sam, what do we see tonight?
Oh, I think Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are really going to be the kind of bellwethers. With healthy early vote, we want to make sure every vote is counted. And what we're seeing is better processes have been put in place in those states to make sure the vote comes in quicker.
Yeah, people have been frustrated for the last 4 years. Why does it take so long with these computers and so forth to get those ballots counted? So it looks like better processes are indeed in place. All right, so let's look at the national picture still. And I know we've got some local results right here that well, not results yet, but we're starting to get some stuff in. But when we look at the national race, the old expression used to be, it's the economy, stupid. And people vote for with dollars first. But this year, could reproductive rights be replacing the economy as the most important issue, the one that really flips this thing?
It's hard to tell. Exit polls are, a dime a dozen.
Right.
Number of exit polls today said economy, immigration, and then abortion rights.
Okay.
Right? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
2 of those would seem to go in the favor of President Trump. So it's really, if President Trump wins tonight, I think we'll know it was the economy and immigration. If he doesn't, it could very well be reproductive rights.
Yep. Sam, what do you think?
Well, after the Dobbs decision, I think a lot of folks thought that we would never kind of go backwards decades. And what we see is that it is a top issue that's been winning elections. And until that's proven wrong, it continues to be a preeminent issue. But of course, with inflation the way it is, people are certainly wondering what the impact is on the economy.
Yeah, I have thought of this race as a rural versus urban race for a long time. But tonight, listening to all the analysts and whatnot, they're talking more about the gender gap than they are the urban-rural. Is that fair, or is that just people pontificating till we know? People looking for something to talk about?
I lean towards, if it's on cable news, it's probably pontificating. We don't know.
This was NBC, yeah, which is broadcast, but yes.
Well, we don't know until we know. But I think we've seen in initial results a humongous turnout in rural localities across the country, in Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, and we've seen early vote trending in Nevada and Arizona. Rural votes just kind of really huge. We don't know how.
Yeah, but is that the question? Is Sam? Is that bigger than the gender gap?
Yeah,
because we know that rural people are voting for Trump, right?
Yeah, what we see is that there's really more and more of a cultural divide. Unfortunately, sometimes it feels like we're watching reality TV as opposed to having genuine debates on important issues. What we do know is that, objectively speaking, when you talk to women, they feel as though their rights are under attack. And that continues to manifest itself in the election results. So I think we've got both dynamics. Look, we've got a big country, nearly 350 million people.
Sure.
So there are a lot of issues that impact, for sure.
All right, thank you, Rachel. With me once again are Delegate Sam Rasoul, representing the city of Roanoke, Democrat. Daniel Webb is the vice chair of the Roanoke County Republican Committee, and we've been looking at all kinds of data coming in. You guys have a lot of expertise in Roanoke City, where we don't know the results of the mayor's race yet for city council and so forth. Sam, I want to start with you. When we look at the different parts of the city that people maybe recognize, Grandin Court, Raleigh Court, Southeast, those types of places, South Roanoke. Which of those, if any, would you consider to be Republican-leaning?
Yeah, I think today more of the Republican-leaning precincts tend to be on the eastern side of the city. And what we see is that in some Northeast and Southeast tend to be more Republican-leaning, unlike the way it used to be, where South Roanoke used to be more Republican. Now it's more of a 50-50 area.
It kind of mirrors what we're seeing nationally with the Republicans, don't you think?
I would say so. Suburban voters have moved away in the Donald Trump era, and I think a lot of that entirely in South Roanoke. We've seen that. South Roanoke used to be a solidly Republican region. It's now, like Sam said, a 50-50. Direly it's probably lean Republican if I would have put it on a map. And Williamson Road, which used to be solidly Republican, has now gone pretty solidly for Democrats over the last few cycles.
And then we look at, I've always thought of Raleigh Court and Grandin Court as being fairly solidly Democratic. Am I right about that?
I'll defer to Sam on that.
Yeah, Raleigh Court is very solidly Democratic right now. Grandin Court tends to be more of a toss-up. And that's based on the way the new precincts have been drawn up in recent years. And so if you're trying to get a pulse of where the whole city might be, we see that Grandin Court, Dyerly precincts, those tend to be more of the toss-up precincts.
So looking at the results we have so far, when we look at the city of Roanoke, is Stephanie Moon Reynolds getting enough votes that she might be hurting Joe Cobb's chances for becoming the next mayor of Roanoke City?
Well, what you do see is if you look at Kamala Harris's, the vice president's votes, and you compare that to where Joe Cobb is as a Democrat, clearly Stephanie Moon Reynolds is taking away some of those votes. Right now, while Joe Cobb has a lead, there is a dynamic there that is important for people to pay attention to.
I want to talk about one of the issues that came up a lot in, I was able to moderate at least one mayoral debate and also one in Salem, but this came up actually in both of them, and that's the issue of homelessness in the city of Roanoke, and I know that impacts Roanoke County as well because a lot of business owners, that everybody's complaining about the panhandlers and the homeless, and there seems to be a sense that some of these people are dangerous, that folks don't want to go near a huddle of the unhoused. Is that a big issue? Is that an issue that's going to be affecting the city going forward, regardless of who wins?
Well, I'll just say as someone that has a family in Roanoke and knows business owners in Roanoke City and wants to go downtown and enjoy all the amenities that Roanoke City and Roanoke County has to offer, there is a hesitation there, and it's not necessarily homelessness specifically, it's crime in general, right? They see this on the national level. Are we going to, keep our communities safe and do that proactively? Or are we going to kind of let the little things go by and then it kind of spirals out of control, and then businesses now feel uncomfortable and they're moving out of Roanoke City, they're moving into the county. That's not good for Roanoke City. And I want to take my kids downtown and enjoy it, and sometimes there's some hesitation there. And my wife runs a lot. I kind of has a hesitation running by yourself on the Greenway, So that's more about crime than homelessness per se. It's just enforcing the local laws, I think, is what is important to family members and business owners.
Although, Sam, maybe you know more about this than I do, but I know that the police are frustrated because there isn't a law that just says you can make them go away. And it's hard to keep folks from sleeping on the sidewalks, right?
Well, look, the reality is all of us are concerned with public safety, but we're all in this together. I mean, we are a community. Being the largest city in the western part of the state, the homeless and those in need just generally gravitate towards Roanoke City. And as a society, we, have a deal to be able to make sure that we're taking care of everyone. And there's no a magic eraser that's going to erase someone. So we make the right investments. We need to look to the state and federal government also to be helping us with this. And hopefully we can begin to make sure that we're taking care of everyone at the same time.
Yeah, you got to walk the line. You want the families to come down, enjoy themselves. You want people to be able to walk a couple of blocks without being asked for money, and you don't want people to feel like their safety is in jeopardy. But you also have to help that group of people as well, right? Tough line to walk.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. That was one of the issues that came up a lot when I was moderating this mayoral. I called it a debate. It was a forum, but. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if people are voting on that issue or not.
Well, really look at the local level. What people are mostly thinking about is their relationship with the candidates. We tend to talk a lot about issues. It's 90% name recognition, relationship with candidates. As you mentioned, Stephanie Moon Reynolds has been on city council, so has Joe Cobb. The people who have been out or run multiple times are those who are leading. People are excited. For example, Fajon Nash would be the youngest city council member ever elected. So lots of different candidates bring things to the table.
Okay. Guys, thanks a lot. We'll be back right after this.
Appreciate it.